Alright, what is up, guys? What is up? So you can see here, you couldn't figure it out by the title. I got a little peek here for you at a project I've been working on. What I want to do here is liquid cool the motor controller on my e-bike. It's a Sabaton SVMC, the 72100, their 100 amp model. And I've been thinking about this for a while, and then I discovered this free modeling software and started working on it. Been just playing around with it, hour here, hour there for like the last week or so, just tinkering with it, learning, trying to figure this all out. This is just a rendered preview of it though. Let me get over here and show you guys what we actually have going on. So, actually before I show you this website right here, GrabCAD, awesome, man. If you're new or a full-on expert with 3D design, modeling, 3D printing, whatever, this website is awesome. They have tons and tons of models of stuff it's all free. Just download what you need and do whatever you want with it. But yeah, anyway, back to my model. Of course, I wasn't able to find a model of my bike frame, so I had to do that myself. I think it came out pretty alright for an idiot like me that doesn't know what they're doing with it. Yeah, Autodesk Fusion 360. If you're new to this, this is definitely the one to go for. I tried Blender, and it's just, I don't know, the user interface just doesn't seem as friendly to a newbie. Anyway, what we got going on here, this is the Sabaton controller here, their little, the extruded aluminum heatsink housing that they come with. But what I did here, you can see I found a water block, and it's, surprisingly, it's sized, perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better sized block. It's lapped flat, all that good stuff. Just waiting for it to come in now. And, yeah, what we're gonna do, this is the battery. It's just a rough model of the battery. But what I want to do is get that. I might completely ditch the extruded housing here and just put this water block on the bottom of the PCB of the controller. And what we'll do is we'll run our tubes from that to this radiator. We're going to start off with 120 millimeter just to, start with the minimum and work our way up from there, size-wise and price-wise. You can get these little 120 millimeter aluminum finned radiators for like 15-20 bucks off Amazon and eBay. So what we'll do, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna run the tubes straight out the bottom of the frame and loop them right in, or maybe run them out the side panel and come in from the side that way. Because that way my I don't know, I'm thinking it might not be ideal to have them here, but then over on the side, there's always the chance of them getting snagged on like a random branch or something. You never know. So what I did was I picked up some G1/4 thread. They're 90-degree swivel fittings, so they rotate 360 degrees freely. And I'm hoping that that'll at least make things a little bit easier, a little bit neater, tidier when it comes to actually setting up the tubing runs. Should be a pretty cool project once it all comes together. Yeah, the only thing, like a lot of people that I talk to about this are, with good reason, concerned about water and electronics being mixed together like that, but people have been water cooling computers for the longest time, and I know that's, apples to oranges. Your computer's not getting smashed around and taken off jumps, but it's the same basic concept. And distilled water is non-conductive anyway. It's contaminants in the water that create that conductivity. Or if you really wanted to, you could go as far as using mineral oil. But if that stuff starts leaking or you have a spill, man, have fun cleaning that up. I would not want to be that guy. But yeah, let me since I'm not going to take my controller apart right now to show you guys what's inside it, because the water block probably won't be here for a good 2 weeks still, and I need the bike. It's my way of getting around. So we'll shoot over to YouTube quick. I'll show you what we have on the inside of the controller, and yeah, let's hop on over here. This guy, Vortex, he's got a pretty cool channel here. If you guys want to, I'll post links to it down in the description if you want to check out his 11,000 watt e-bike build series here. That's got to be so much fun. Mine peaks at about 6,000, almost 7,000 watts, but it's, rated for 5,000. I could only imagine almost double the power. That's sick. But anyway, here we go.
I always take everything apart because I like to see what's in them.
Me too. Me too.
As you can see.
Right, so, here we go. These controllers, they have this nice big chunk of aluminum on the bottom to act as your heat sink between it and the housing here. And underneath us here, this is all your MOSFETs. And then on the other side of the board, as you saw, you have your capacitors. And that's what's creating all that heat. And when I have, I used to have the controller on the outside of the frame down here, but now it's on top of the battery inside the frame, so it gets toasty, to say the least. In the winter it's good for a little bit longer, but when you're riding hard in the summer,
that baby gets toasty.
And you can see here, well, I don't know how well you'll be able to make it out, but you can see that there's thermal compound down in all these holes here, and he explains that this whole thing was coated in thermal paste or some kind of thermal compound. He wasn't real specific about it, but we'll have to replace that after we disassemble it. I'm thinking maybe I'll pick up some like generic thermal paste like that you would use on a CPU or GPU die, or possibly a more permanent like thermal epoxy, but I haven't quite decided on that yet. I still have to work some of those more minor details out. But yeah, you guys, you get the general
There's
idea.
A bloody great heat sink on the underside and all these fets everywhere. And
so yeah, I found that block, and it's perfectly sized to cover the whole board. Really, I only need to cover about 2/3 of it, but what the heck, might as well just do the whole thing. And yeah, it gets so warm inside that frame that if I could get this little 120 millimeter radiator on the outside of the bike here, and even if it reduces my temperatures by 10-15 degrees, that's awesome. That's all I needed to do. And if not, if this doesn't work out quite to our expectations here, then we'll bump up to a 240 mil. Why not, right? I mean, you can get them cheap enough. I'm not going real expensive on this or anything either. I'm buying a cheap aluminum finned radiator so that if anything does go wrong, if somehow a rock makes it through this grate or a stick and punctures it, then whatever, we're out 15 bucks instead of 60, 70 bucks. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to use these cable grommets, run the hose through that, and then just kind of, cinch it down. Not enough to crush the tubing, but just enough to keep a nice watertight seal around it. Because the whole point of me moving the controller inside the frame was to keep it out of the elements and to keep it from getting damaged. So if we have holes where water can just seep right in there, especially from the bottom, all that kicking off the front wheel and stuff, if it could still get inside the frame, then there's no point in doing any of this. Might as well just put the controller back on the outside. And I talked to people, I considered doing air-cooled, but again, there's the same problem. If I put fans in, something has to be sucking air in, and the other one has to be blowing it out. And the one that's sucking air in, that's just gonna suck any rain and dirt and everything else that comes near it. It's gonna pull that in and shoot it right inside your frame, all over the controller, your connections, your battery, whatever. So that's not even an option as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Want to get your thoughts on it, see what you think of it, what you would do, what you wouldn't do, what you see here that might look completely idiotic to you. You know, I'm always looking to pick people's brains that are more experienced than myself, so be cool to get a little conversation started on this. Because looking online, I was able to find 1 or 2 articles from a couple of years back about people that tried doing this, and it seems like it just never took off. I don't know if it's just because it's such a niche thing. It's a niche thought for a niche item in a niche market. You know what I mean? So there's really not much to go off of. What I'm planning to do is I'm actually just gonna set up a rig, and I'm gonna, I'll build the loop, fill it with water, pressure test it. We're gonna have to be a little abusive and really stress test the hell out of this thing. And if it holds up, nothing cracks, nothing leaks, then it'll go in the bike. So, yeah, that about wraps this one up, guys. Just a short little video. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being part of the conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hip thrust that like button for me. And as always, I appreciate you. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.